One of the biggest changes I have encountered in my 30 years in education is the introduction of social media. Since the beginning of social media platforms, there has not been a more influential and impactful change in our society, and unfortunately, it has not been for the better. While there definitely can be many positive ways that social media is used, I love seeing my old friends and classmates. There are also overwhelmingly more negative implications to these platforms, especially for our young children. These platforms most often give an unrealistic view of life. As adults, we've all seen the videos of someone's perfect home, and then we look at ours and think, why doesn't it look the same? We see the perfect makeup and the perfect clothes and wonder why our bodies don't look the same. Or we see the highlight reel of an athlete and wish we had that same ability. Imagine how much more impactful this is to a young girl who's still searching for their place and their identity. Or imagine how it affects the young boy who's searching for where he fits in. Giving young children free and open access to these social media platforms before they're ready can have devastating consequences on their emotional well-being, their social interactions, their physical body, and most importantly, their spiritual life. Since the inception of social media, the rise in depression, anxiety, bullying, loss of sleep, exposure to inappropriate content, body image issues, and dangerous trends have risen astronomically. As Christian moms and dads, we've got to find a way to help our children avoid some of these pitfalls. I could spend a long time going through all the specific apps and discussing the hidden and not so hidden dangers of each one. By the way, Snapchat is the devil. And as a parent, you have to really be willing to do your homework on each of these apps and be willing to learn about them before you allow your child to be on them. I want to take just a few minutes and share with you a few tips for when you feel like your child is ready for social media. First, you do need to realize that many social media platforms have age restrictions on them already. They are there for a reason. Allowing your child to set up one using an invalid birth date is not a good way to begin their introduction to life on the internet. Second, you've got to decide what boundaries your child will have and stick to them. The hardest part of parenting is consistency, but it's also the one that kids appreciate the most, although they'll never tell you that. Every child is different, and you do have to take into consideration their age and maturity level. Some examples of good boundary setting is picking one platform and not giving open access to all of them. Making sure you have all the passwords to their social media and that you are logged on and can access all of their accounts. Third, set time limits for social media use. Maybe they're allowed to be on it 30 minutes a day while they're with you. Maybe you decide on a certain amount per week. But my suggestion is that there's never a time when electronics go into a room with a child by themselves. Don't ever let them sleep with their phone or Chromebook. You would never let a stranger come in off the street and sleep in your child's room, but that's exactly what happens when kids are allowed unrestricted access to the internet and social media when they're alone. Fourth, you need to find some type of parental control. There are several apps and companies that provide these. Bark is probably one of the most recognized, and many cell phone providers also have services that can turn off your child's phone at a certain time or limit downloads without permission. Whatever works best for you, find it and make sure there are some type of parental controls on your child's social media. Fifth, keep your child's profile private where only friends and people you're familiar with can view and interact with them. Again, going back to the stranger example, you don't want to open up access to your child to just anyone on the internet. And finally, talk with your child. Look at what they've been looking at. Ask them about it. Talk about unrealistic expectations from what they see. Have conversations with them about who they're following on social media and why. Have the hard talks about their body image and what's realistic. Keep talking even when they don't want to. If they're trying to keep things from you or won't ever open up, these can be huge red flags, and you might want to consider talking to someone else like a counselor. You know, we could talk all day about the dangers of the internet and social media, but the bottom line is this. There is a spiritual war taking place that wants your child and mine. They want your child to be unhappy with themselves and to seek their identity in worldly things. Just like Paul tells us in Ephesians 6:13, we have to equip them with the full armor of God so that they can stand strong and fight against the devil. This can seem overwhelming, but we at ACA want you to know that we're right there with you. We're working each day to help arm our students with tools to help them in this battle. Let us know how we can partner with you as we work to raise up young men and young women that will accomplish great things for the kingdom.